Hey everybody, it's your old friend Gary Lucas, and I'm back in the mirror world here with the reverse camera angles, standing up in the standing up position here, looking out the window at the beautiful day here in New York. But I have to say, like most people, I was glued to the TV most of yesterday till about 3 a.m. watching. Well, I kept channel surfing to try and get different perspectives. But can I say, I mean, I was definitely shaken up and left with a sinking feeling, and I really hope they can get Trump out of there in the next 2 weeks before he can do any more damage. What else can I say? I don't have a really bad feeling about this person. And anyway, yeah, and so does Lulu. There she is. Hi, hi, Lulu. She don't like him. I'd pick her up and bring her in for a pop-in, but but anyway, all right. So I'm going to play solo acoustic today, and let's hope nothing calamitous happens in Washington in the next half an hour. But I want to get back to my television watching. I saw some amazing stuff. Also, I posted this thing, the Jewish Forward, which I subscribed to for years, and it's a great paper, identified many of these Trumpite supposed white rioters. I mean, you notice that, if it had been BLM doing this, Black Lives Matter, they'd be shot at the door. No question about it. Somehow the police seem to give them a pass. Definitely the fix was in somewhere, and I hope they investigate and prosecute that to the fullest extent of the law. But the Forward really got busy and went through social media and have identified many of the perpetrators. And it grieves me to say there were many rabid anti-Semites, QAnon supporters. They have photos of a guy wearing a shirt that says Camp Auschwitz, for instance. Just not funny, just horrible. And Hillary Clinton, God bless her, was so right in talking about Trump and his basket of deplorables. So anyway, on to happier moments here. That's a piece of music I've had around for a while. And I gave it to a really good singer, a great guy too, named Yas Boud in Lille, France. I gave it to him earlier that year, last year, and then we worked in a beautiful location in Normandy, in northern France, last November on an EP, and he has a great lyric for that song, which I don't want to repeat here because I'm waiting for the final version and I don't want to give the punchline away. But it's really good. It's a song about immigration and how he and his parents felt when they moved to France. Anyway, look for that. I think he's doing final vocals pretty soon. The pandemic kind of knocked the wind out of that project's sails for a while. But in the meantime, my friend Peter Willems just sent me clips I think I'm going to put on YouTube of this live TV broadcast we did as part of the So What's Next festival in Eindhoven, Netherlands. In right after, well, I did a show on actually Halloween that was taped, but this went out live the night before, October 30th. And it was weird to play in front of basically an empty room, a big hall, with only technicians around us and interlocutor who interviewed us. But I think the performance was really good. And now Peter is putting finishing touches on his vocals. So I can't wait to get those mixes. But in the meantime, you know, I keep mentioning this great 40-year retrospective album I got coming out on Knitting Factory Records, January 29th. It was delayed, about 4 or 5 times. And in fact, because of COVID, the original release date, May 1st, got pushed back 3 times. So there were reviews, very stellar reviews, that already ran, mainly in some guitar magazines, about almost a year ago. So we have to, you know, recirculate them. But there's more coming that I know, and I believe there's something for everybody on there. And if not, I don't know, you're an old stick in the mud, then I don't want to play for you. But I'm happy to get your attention here for the moment. And I'll hold up the record. Well, you've seen the cover. I keep posting about it. I don't want to wear out my welcome, but if anybody gets the bug to repost anything about this, go right ahead. Go right ahead, because it's a lonely fight out there. I don't really have a super structure around me label-wise. It's a fine label, I'm not dissing the label, but do you know what I mean? They're lacking the platform power. You know, who has it these days outside of the majors? So a lot of it is down to your own elbow grease. But I think there's a burnout factor when you, the artist, keep reposting about your work. So any like-minded people, go right ahead, and I'll have a reward for the person who, you know, can do it more times than anybody. No, I don't know what it is. I hope, anyway, you spread the word. Basically, that's it. Well, I'm so glad. Yes, I'm mighty glad. So tired of moaning for you. Well, I'm so glad. Yes, I'm mighty glad. So tired of crying for you. Change your key. That's what my old friend Al Fields, the village legend, used to announce at the keyboards. He was a great guy, and he was the house pianist at the Bells of Hell restaurant bar on 13th Street. It had relocated there. I think it formerly was in Midtown. No, sorry, in the Mid Village, not the West Village. Anyway, Al was a character, and when we got married, my musical guests, were David Johansen doing his Buster Poindexter routine for nothing, for the price of, I don't know, enough stimulants to last him the evening. Being euphemistic here. He had a great band with him, and in the band was Tony Garnier, who's been with Bob Dylan for years and years and years and years, playing acoustic bass, and Tony Machine with two Tonys on drums. And David just tore the roof off the sucker. And we do not have many pictures of the wedding, unfortunately. That's another story. But those who were there will remember it fondly. This has to be, oh gosh. Well, I don't want to say, because Caroline will just come in and be furious as to reveal how many years we've actually been together. Yeah, she can hear me talking about this. I think it's bad for her business. That's what she thinks. I'm proud of it myself. All those years. But I got to respect her wishes. So, all right. So what am I reading? He says, well, I just reread this book that I read last summer called Broadsword Calling Danny Boy, which, if you know the film Where Eagles Dare, starring Richard Burton and Clint Eastwood, you will recognize this code. And it's by Jeff Dyer, who's one of our favorite writers. He's basically an English humorist, I would categorize him. I mean, you will learn a lot about a lot of esoteric stuff. He's written books of photography and reimagining the lives of some jazz artists. It's hard to categorize his work. Maybe his best and most well-known work is called Azona, which is an appreciation of his favorite film, one of my favorite films, Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker, which I saw when it first opened at Film Forum. Maybe I slept through the first 45 minutes. It happens. But I love this film, and I've seen it a lot. And especially after reading his book, I was inspired to see it now. I had never seen When Eagles Dare, but because Jeff has this little book out, I thought I got to check that out. And it did not disappoint, because he goes through it scene by scene with very pithy, tart comments about, this and that. He reconstructs the movie for you. It's basically a long digression, but I love writers who do this, such as Lawrence Stern, if you know your English literature. Tristram Shandy, his masterpiece, is pretty much nothing but digressions. And then again, of course, Vladimir Nabokov, Pale Fire, is one large footnote, really, where the real action narrative of the unreliable narrator is secondary to the digressions and the footnotes. And anyway, so check this book out, especially if you know this film, which he loves. I mean, I can appreciate it. It's a hoot. It's like so unrealistic as a war film as to defy description. Okay, also, I'm dipping into a translation of André Breton and Philippe Soupault, The Magnetic Fields. Breton being really the guy who founded Surrealism. I mean, as far as a manifesto, he was the main mover and shaker. And you may well know the artist who calls himself The Magnetic Fields. And it's good stuff. Lastly, William Sloane, The Rim of Morning. It's like early science fiction fantasy. A really great cosmic horror frolic. If you like H.P. Lovecraft, I think you would adore this book. And then in the meantime, I'm trying to finish The Skin, which is great. Also, Curzio Malaparte. And I started to dip into Wild Minds by Britt Rittenmuller, which is a history of early animation. And it's good. I mean, I know that subject pretty well because of my Betty Boop, Max Fleischer obsession. But it's also, I mean, it's great to read about some of the other animation geniuses. And then, you know, you can cross-reference all these things because they're all out. If they're not on YouTube, you can probably acquire, say, the work of Chuck Jones or who are some of the great Warner animators. I'm blanking out here. Tex Avery. They just came out with a Blu-ray of many of his classics. So. Let's see now. I think I have time for one more. And I'm going to move to steel guitar. Steel guitar. I know I must have a bottleneck around here somewhere. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I have a new clip coming out. I started to repost Follow. It's a beautiful animated clip that was done by two sisters who are both superb animation geniuses down in Mexico City, Nadia Rubalcava and her sister Anay Rubalcava. And this was a labor of love for them, and it was definitely a wonderful thing for me that they would take the time to make such a gorgeous clip. And I always liked the song Follow, and to tell you the truth, it was sung here in New York by the comedian Sandra Bernhard, who you may know from the King of Comedy, Martin Scorsese's film. This was her first big film. And there was a gay marriage rally in support of, there was going to be an attempted constitutional amendment to prevent gay marriages. Can you imagine? Talk about impingement of freedom of choice. And there was a lovely rally, and I was asked to perform this with Sandra, who did a great version of this, and it's on SoundCloud, I believe. I posted it, so you can hear her sing the song. And originally Richard Barone used to sing it in Gods and Monsters when he was in there with me. And then when we came to record the album Coming Clean for Jerry Roach and his Mighty Quinn label, I decided to essay the role of vocalist, and I think it came out very well. So check this clip out and the track, because it's on my forthcoming album, The Essential Gary Lucas. It's as close to a love song as anything I ever wrote, but it was written to help actually AIDS sufferers, if you investigate the lyrics. It was to just hopefully provide some sort of spiritual comfort for people, which I hope you all get out of my music. I mean, I don't mean to be so presumptuous, but I'm doing it basically for you guys and to cheer myself up simultaneously. So that's the basic motivation. No. So this is a Blind Willie Johnson song. I think it was launched into space in a capsule. Maybe it's floating around up there. Maybe it landed somewhere. And if anybody listens to it, it's a representation of whoever put this capsule together, some of the best Earthling music. And it's a classic called Dark Was the Ground, Cold Was the Night. All right, that's it for Thursday. And let's look over the neighborhood. Well, we're looking as good before the sun goes down. Okay, they're still working on what I think is Hugh Jackman's hot tub installation. This building over there, they're taking a lunch break. Over here is one of Trump's biggest supporters. I don't want to name his name. This is a huge mansion that they've been working on for years. There's Old Glory. Not stirring much today. But anyway, nothing much does change. It's great to play for you. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And please stay safe. I think that rally, or let's say that attempted coup attempt, probably is one of the biggest super spreader events on the East Coast, most likely, or will be marked as such besides all the other egregious aspects of it. But we can't let that deter us, and we have to wear those masks and observe social distancing, all that good stuff. It ain't much to ask, is it really, folks? So I'll see you on Saturday, all right? And let me know if you prefer this mode or you want to hear more on the electric, psychedelic, wild-ass tip. I like doing it, actually, both equally, so I'd like to hear from you. All right, big hug, big kiss. Bye now.